Hello everyone. Welcome back to the IM Academy for Engineering. And in today's video, we're going to take a look at the switch function. All right. So let's imagine you have some employees. Okay. And based on their performance, you want to put them in some different bonus categories. Okay. One of the ways you can do this is the use of if statements and nested if statements. Okay. So I have an if statement here, a nested if statement actually, and I'll show you how this one works here. So what we're doing is we're comparing their performance rating of each employee, all right? And we're seeing if it's excellent. Now, if P2, if the performance rating of that employee is excellent, then we want to return high bonus. If that's not right, for the false statement, we want to check again. We want to check if B2 is equals to good. If it's good, we want to return medium bonus. But if that's not right, and this one is not right too, then what we want to do is we want to go and check the contents of B2 and see if it equals to average. If it's average, then we want to return low bonus. All right. And at the end, we want to check if B2 is poor. And if it's poor, we want to return no bonus. Okay. But if none of these are true, then we're just going to return unknown performance rating. Okay. So this is the use of if statement, nested if statements. And let's see how it performs. So as you can see, it performs pretty well. Here it says unknown performance rating. That's because we don't have an N here, right? We put an N there, and now it's working. It's working perfectly fine. But you see this long formula here. It's complicated and not easy to edit whenever you want in the future. All right, you'll have to come back, try to understand this again, and work on it. And it's not easy to write in the first place, right? One of the better ways, easier ways to do this is the use of the switch function, okay? So let me show you how you can do this. Let me just get rid of all this, okay? Actually, let me delete all that, okay? And let's do this from scratch. So we're going to use the switch, all right? The switch function. The switch function gets an expression. This is basically the value here in B2 cell. It's going to be the one that we will compare our values to, okay? So this is the expression. We want to check what is in this cell. So that's why the first one is the expression. We're going to put a comma there, and then we're going to put value 1. This means instead of saying if B2 equals stat, we're just going to say this is B2. If B2 is excellent, okay? If B2 has this value, if B2 has this value in it, then we want to return what? We want to return high bonus. Okay? Great. Now, just put another comma and you go to the second value, right? So if it's not excellent, if it's good, for example, okay, then we want to return, for example, medium bonus. Okay? Put a comma there and we're going to check for another value, which is average. Okay, if it's average, then we're going to return low bonus. All right, and then we're going to check if it's poor. For the value poor, we're going to return no bonus. Okay, fortunately. All right, and let's put another comma there. Right, so as you can see, when we are adding values, okay, we're adding values, it says default or value 5, right? The default basically means if none of these values are there, none of these values are right, what should be returned by default? What should be returned if none of these conditions passed, all right? What should be the default value if there's nothing in there, okay? Then we're gonna just return unknown performance rating. Okay, great. And let's close this. Let's click enter. See how it works. Yeah, as you can see, for excellent it returns high bonus, good it returns medium bonus, average it returns low bonus, and poor returns no bonus. Now if I remove this N, for example, here, it returns unknown performance rating. If I delete, it returns unknown performance rating, and that's why the default value is there. That is much cleaner and much easier to edit in the future. Just come here, all right, add your value, like for example, any other value. Let's just do this one real quick. So let's say, I don't know, let's say it's very poor. Well, some guy is very poor, right? So I'll add another value, right? I'll say very poor, okay? And then I'll add what should be returned if very poor is a value, okay? What should be returned is fire, okay? And then let me add another comma and enter. Yeah, so if here we go now and say very poor, it says fire immediately, right? So much easier to edit, manipulate with the switch statement. But let's not get one thing wrong. This doesn't mean that we can always replace nested if statements with switch functions, all right? It's not possible always, right? So let me show you one case where it's not possible to easily switch from the nested if statements to the switch function, okay? So let's come back here. I've hidden some columns. Let me unhide them. So here what we tried to do is we tried to give every student a letter grade based on their score, okay? And we use some if statements to, determine these, which we don't need for this video. So let me hide them again, all right? Now, take a look at this if statement. It says if the score, right? If the value of B2 is greater or equals to 90, then we're going to return an A. If that's not right, check the value of B2 again and see if it's greater than 80 or equals to 80 actually. If that's right, then return a B. If B2 is greater or equals to 70, then return a C. If B2 is greater or equals to 60, then return a D. And again, check the value of B2 and see if B2 is greater or equals to 50. Then give them a D minus. But if it's none of these, value of B2 is none of these, just return an F, right? Now, we cannot replace this, or we can, but not easily. We cannot easily replace this with a switch statement, all right? Not possible. Let's see why. So if we use the switch statement here, the switch function, all right, we give it the expression, which is the contents of B2. And here we'll have to give it a specific value. We cannot say if B2 is greater or equals to 90. We have to give it a specific value. So the only value we can give is, for example, 90. All right, we'll have to check 90 and say if 90 is there, then we're going to return an A. All right, but then we have to go and say, hey, if 91 is there, then we'll have to return another A too. But then we have to say 92 and then we'll return another A too. Much, much messier if you do this for all the values. Much, much messier than the nested if statement, and not possible, not easy to do, so not recommended, right? But this doesn't mean that this is the best way to do this. There's another way to do this, and we're going to take a look at that in another video. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.